Anyway, all right, what's that? A minute of wasted time? Cool. Hold on. You know, the hair isn't as fly as I want it to be. What's going on, guys? It's SteveTheChimp, and we have a massive mid-patch update coming to the game. Jaeger is getting a massive nerf, while Ace and Thermite are getting a slight buff. Stay tuned. I don't like the stay tuned. You're getting a slight buff. It's so cheesy. We're gonna go over all the changes and more, so sit tight and buckle up. So first off with Ace, him and Thermite are actually trading gadgets. Ace will be getting the Claymore while Thermite will be getting smoke grenades. I actually think this is a really good decision because right now Ace can kind of do it all. He's very versatile, very good operator. Thermite has ended up suffering in his pick rate due to that. This gives a reason to pick Thermite more if you really need those smoke grenades, while also allowing Ace to honestly just open up that wall, give his teammate the diffuser, and he can go frag out with the AK. So I kind of like this all around. I do think Ace could do too much, and giving Thermite an opportunity to have a better pick rate is a good thing in my opinion. Now, even though Ace is losing those smoke grenades, he is going to be able to destroy black mirrors with his Selma gadget. It says here, looking at the balancing matrix, Ace has climbed higher in pick presence and win rate. Overall, we see him as a fast and versatile hard breacher, but he should not be the dominant pick for hard breachers in all situations, which I agree with this. We're also changing how Ace's gadget will work with black mirrors, black mirror window. That's a tongue twister. We're also changing how Ace's gadget will work with mirrors black mirror. Players already use Ace to counter mirror. Jesus, this is the thing about recording this. I can't talk. Players already use Ace to counter mirror by opening a space beneath the mirror to deny defender access. Now it can destroy the black mirror completely, adding more counterplay options for dealing with mirror. I really like this. Obviously with mirror's ban rate, which I'll show you later in the video, she's very powerful. As an Ace main, I have loved using him to counter her, and this is going to make it even easier. So I'm very excited for this change. Next up, they talked about Jackal. They actually reduced his mag size from 30+1 to 25+1, and his damage from 46 to 42. I think this is all right. The C7E is a very powerful weapon, but I think the reason they're doing this is his ban rate, and I think that has far more to do with his ability with roam clearing than it does with his weapon, but sure. As for Tachanka, they actually made a lot of changes to his weapons, both his launcher and his DP27. If you guys want to read about it, go ahead and click the link down in the description below. I don't know if this is really going to change anything. They said they made these changes to make him more of a lethal op, so we'll see how that goes, but I don't really think it's going to do much. As for Thermite, we already talked about this before, but he's swapping his Claymore for smoke grenades. Very cool. I think this is going to make him get played more for sure. I know I will play him on certain sites more now that I can use those smoke grenades when I'm planning. Now here's the biggest change coming from this patch, guys. Jaeger is getting quite the nerf. They're bringing down his 416 mag size from 30+1 to 25+1, while also making his recoil a bit harder to handle. They say here Jaeger is a community favorite, and we understand why. While we all love Jaeger and the utility he brings to the team compositions, his 95% presence is too high to ignore. True. This is something we've spent a great deal of time working through how to address. Understanding will affect so many players, and we want to maintain the identity of such a beloved operator while also encouraging greater pick diversity. Now, my opinion on this so far is the 416 is a great weapon, but I don't think it has anything to do with his pick rate. It has everything to do with his utility. There is no other operator that can do his job better, and his job is so important to denying utility that he just is a must pick on most sites. Now, they do address this, talking about how they know his utility is the real reason he gets picked so much and not his loadout, but they just want to make him a little less popular. I kind of disagree with this. I think they should have left the gun alone and then worked on the utility later. Now, they end off talking about how they're working on some changes for the ADSs in the future to come. What those changes will be, I have no idea, but I would love to hear your guys' opinions in the comments below. Please let me know what changes you think they should make to his ADS to make him a little less popular without actually nerfing him to hell. I don't know, some stuff I say, I'm like, that was cringy, nerd. Nerf him to hell. Now, the last change they're making is they're actually giving DMRs quite the buff. They're leaving the 3.0 as a default option for the sites, but now you will have access to 1.5, 2.0, and 2.5 sites. They did this because they want people to be more comfortable using DMR on certain maps and sites that are really hard for the current DMRs to handle. With this going to be made for long-range gunfights, some maps just don't allow for those, and they want people to still feel comfortable using their favorite DMR operator. I think it's a really cool change. I'm excited to see how it might change what operators get picked more in the future. Now, as you can see by the gameplay behind me, Ace's Selmas can now destroy the black mirrors, allowing for an easy kill on Mira or other unexpected defenders. Although the much larger change is coming to Jaeger. As you can see by this before and after, the spacing between the bullets is much larger after the patch. This means his recoil is a lot harder to control, especially for newer players. Now, for veterans in the game, you may learn the recoil pretty quickly and it might not be a problem, but with only 26 bullets per mag and a more difficult recoil pattern, this might bring down his presence a bit for players that only use him to get frags. Okay, so next let's talk about the the attacker win deltas. Now, I'm not going to really talk about the people in the back over here because it's kind of skewed. When you have that low of a pick rate, the win rates are going to jump up and down like crazy every single patch. So I'm not really worried about them back here, but we'll talk around the balanced region all the way up. So first of all, Zofia and Ashe, no surprise there. Still a couple of the best ops in the game. They just do everything amazing. They can frag, they can get rid of utility. They're great, right? As for Ace, he's got the exact same pick rate, but his win rate has gone up. It makes sense that they're giving him a slight nerf by taking away his smokes, especially when Thermite's sitting way back here all lonely and sad. The graph alone shows why that change was necessary, and it will help Thermite get a little boost up, hopefully around this region, whilst Ace will probably still remain the most powerful hard breacher in the game. As for Blackbeard, he has dropped down significantly from the last patch. I'm not surprised by this at all. Practically one bullet will shatter his shield every single time, so it makes sense that he's way back here. I don't even see a reason to ban him right now because of how weak he is at this current state, and I guarantee they're working on a rework for him. As for Flores, he's actually doing pretty decent. This is the first graph since he's been released, and he's doing right where they want him in this balanced region, so that's really good. I believe the reason he's doing so well is people are realizing how powerful he can be if you use him the correct way. He's great for getting rid of wall denial while also getting line of sights that other operators can't reach. So yeah, I'm not really surprised by this at all. As for Yana, she was around this region. Now she's gone up in win rate and pick rate just slightly, but I think that's because people are realizing how good she can be. Especially for solo queue players, it's amazing to have the Gon 6, 2 frag grenades, 2 initial drones, and practically unlimited drones with her ability. It allows you to get all the intel you need and execute on it without any communication from your teammates. I honestly think she's one of the best flexes in the game right now, and she's being very much slept on by a lot of players. As for defense, the first thing that jumps out to me is Jaeger's pick rate. Obviously, it's always been off the chart, but now it's actually getting cut off a little bit, so that's crazy to me. But they did say he has a 95% pick rate, so I'm not too surprised that it's starting to get cut off here. Once again, I do agree he needs some type of nerf, but I don't know if I agree that it should be his weapons. Melusi and Valk are still OP as usual. I have a feeling that Valkyrie's going to get some type of nerf after they get down dealing with Jaeger, as she has always been too strong. I mean, I personally love her. I'm a Valk main, but I do see that she might have some things they could tweak to make her a little less OP. As for Melusi, I think she just needs a straight up rework, but I don't know what that would be. They did talk about a nerf that she might be getting in the future where her Banshee would actually blossom open, where you could shoot it in the middle and it would get destroyed. So I think that might be too harsh of a nerf, but who knows? Let me know if you guys agree with that one. I did want to mention that I was a bit surprised by Bandit still being picked more than Kaid. I honestly think that Bandit is not nearly as good as Kaid on most sites. I think Bandit's quite weak nowadays, and he should only be used on a specific few sites. For instance, on border where you have a hard floor and you can actually get away with bandit tricking, but most sites you can't bandit trick anymore, so I think Kaid's just a better pick most of the time. Mute and Mozzie are still up here, especially with the addition of Flores. Why wouldn't they be? They're the direct counters to the new operator, and they're just a huge part of the meta right now with their intel and utility denial abilities, so I'm not surprised at all by them being in the top 5. The biggest thing I can take away from this graph is utility denial and intel are still king, and I don't think that's going to ever change. As for the ban rates on attack, Blackbeard had a huge decrease in his ban rate. It was 53%, but now it's 23%, so that nerf definitely had a huge impact, both on his presence and how much other players are actually worried about playing against him. Flores has a 10% ban rate. I do see the new operators typically being in this chart. I don't really know why he's getting banned. Honestly, Mute, Mozzie, Bandit, they're all great counters to his utility, so. And to no surprise, Thatcher and Jackal still are the most banned ops on attack. Thatcher is super obvious. He makes it way too easy for attackers to get into sight, and most players would rather just not deal with that, while Jackal is just a huge annoyance for roamers, and people don't want to deal with that either. As for defense, there was no change practically. Mira, Melusi, and Valkyrie are still the top banned operators, and all of us can see why. And obviously Echo was very hurt by his nerfs, and no one's really worried about him anymore. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for all the changes. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the Jaeger change and what you think they should really change to bring down that pick rate, as well as what you think about the Ace change. Are you gonna ban Mira less now that he can destroy her utility? Also, don't forget, I stream on Twitch Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. EST, and I would love to see you all there. On Twitch, we like to talk about all things Rainbow Six and see how many ranked games I can lose in a row before I end the stream. With that being said, I had a blast going over this with you guys, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Later.